So we are in planning season. Obviously, financial years do move around, but it's always nice, I think, to have a sort of an annual plan as much as anything from a leadership perspective to make sure that, you know, your team and everybody around you really understands what it is that you want to achieve for the next year, the big push. So how do you go about that? Because obviously there's a million and one different things that you need to do, but you need to find time to do it. It's very important. So what I thought I'd do is just share a quick methodology. It's not the only way, but one of the ways that, you know, I helped, you know, sort of scale up size businesses and think about and kind of work through that process efficiently. So for me, it always starts with a bit of a reset, a baseline, right? So a proper review of how 2025 has actually gone. Look at your key metrics like revenue margin, you know, NRR, pipeline, you know, velocity and coverage, cash, all of those things. And, you know, basically reconfirm as well, I guess, from a market proposition perspective, you know, who is your ICP? Are you facing into the right one? Are you solving the right pains? So do a bit of a kind of a baseline reset on proposition as well, because that can lead into some strategic initiatives later. So you've got a view of how 2025 went, what's good, what's bad. Then what I would do is start by defining what your 2026 North Star is, right? So, you know, let's think about that from an enterprise value perspective. So, you know, how do we build the value of the business? What goes into that? And obviously my exit ebook, which obviously if you DM me, I can send you a copy of, talks a lot about what all the levers are to be able to do that. Not going to be able to go into all of those now, but really focus on those enterprise levers. So firstly, build a budget, right? So build up your revenue lines based on, you know, what's happened last year, what you expect from pipeline. Also think about it from the other end as well around, you know, what is a reasonable kind of view on what, you know, kind of compound annual growth rate, CAGR, would look like. So do we want to grow at 10%, 20%, 50%, 100%? Combination of those things, and obviously feeding in historic and forward-looking data will help you build a revenue line. And then do the same, feed in all your fixed and variable costs into that to build a bit of a kind of a V1 budget to then get senior team kind of buy in and feed into. Once you've got that budget set, create OKRs. So that's a good way of, you know, some people use EOS rocks as well. That's fine. I prefer OKRs because I think they're a little bit more detailed and sort of easier to understand and focus, but they basically cascade down, you know, from that top level budget targets, break that all down into sort of channels and service teams and individuals so they can understand how they contribute to that. So really important process. And then prioritize strategic levers, basically build a strategic plan around how you're going to get there. So think about, you know, is it pricing that we're going to change? Is it go to market that we're going to look at? Is it product that we're going to innovate on? Is it, you know, leadership team that we need to build? Think about what those really key priorities are that are going to get you from A to B, you know, and make sure that that 2026 North Star is hit. And then build your strategic planning roadmap as well. Spend a lot of time on that quite often with clients and NED work. So you end up with this situation where you work through all that, you've finalized your budget, and then think about governance as well. So that's where, you know, NED and chairs and all of those kind of things, external support can be very helpful to kind of create some accountability, you know, and actually help create focus on working on the business plan. And then make sure ultimately that you wrap all that up into a big rah-rah speech and communicate that to the whole of business, you know, in the right order to make sure that everybody's behind it, everybody understands it, and they understand why you're doing it, why it matters, and what's in it for them. So hopefully that's helpful. Lots of work, I appreciate that. And if you need any help or support, then I'm happy to offer a bit of advice.